Kingsmen came together in a garage. They could hardly even play, but they practiced night and day, and pretty soon they got to where they could really play that song Louie Louie. So they saved up all the money from their shows, went into one of them studios, and gave their version of that song Louie Louie a try. Now, I don't know the words to all that song Louie Louie. I'm pretty sure the Kingsmen didn't know the words to them either. If they did, they didn't get them right on the record. On the record, they sound completely jumbled in its jaw. This is me think of me, girl, oh so constantly. Me, I make her, ooh, ah. Well, that last part scared everybody from the PTA to the FBI. You see, the kids have been going kind of crazy lately. Seemed like nobody could figure out why. So they decided to form a coalition, launch an investigation, you know, for the children. They figured they at least had to try to figure out the words to that song, Louie Louie. It's the feel good, hill of this endless summer, gets the kids out of control. Singing along to that star-spangled bomber. Hail, hail, rock and roll. You know, Marilyn Manson's real name's not even Marilyn Manson. He's a skinny public high school kid from Ohio. He's not some monster from out of this world. And like a lot of skinny public high school kids, he was sick of watching the pulling guard beat up everybody all week, only to go out on the weekend and watch the quarterback get all the girls. So we formed a band, man. And now, Marilyn Manson gets a lot of chicks. We've agreed that they're weird chicks, but they're chicks. A few years later, a couple latchkey kids go tragically mad. Everybody's gathered around the television store at the mall trying to figure out what went wrong. This guy says, you think the life of a kid going to school around here could have gotten that bad? This other guy said, no, probably just the words to one of them goddamn Marilyn Manson songs. You know which one I'm talking about. It's the feel good, hit of this endless summer. It gets the kids out of control. Singing along to that star-spangled bomber. Hey-oh, hey-oh, rock and roll. Every 10 years or so, our country and some other little country, we start firing all of our newest weapons at each other. For some reason or another, right or wrong, like it or not, it happens, and when it happens, people get shot. And when people get shot, they show that on television a lot. Every night at 6 o'clock. You don't have to be 18 to see that. You don't even have to be in first grade. First grade, where they'll show the kid the pride that they tell him he gonna need to thrive in a world where they say that only the strong will survive. So he's taught the art of more, to compare to and to keep score. Monday through Friday while he stares at the floor. Till Sunday they make him go to school once more, only this time they make him wear a suit and a tie and listen to some guy who claims to know where people go when they die, tell them that only the meek are gonna inherit the earth. Well, shit. By this time, how could anybody's kid know what anything was worth? Now, brothers and sisters, I'm only one guy, and I don't even know the words to that song, Louie Louie. But I can tell you right now, without batting an eye, the next time some latchkey kid goes wrong, ain't gonna be because of the words to some rock and roll song. And I ain't trying to preach to you either. I'm just trying to sing to you too, string a few words together. Hey kids, let's get it on. Let's get it on. time when I had money to burn. There was a time when where I landed was the least of my concerns. But it hurts to lean back in handcuffs, like 9 kinds of shame turn to rage. As a younger man, I might have put up a fight, but I just feel like such a fool at my age. Some of this trouble just finds me, don't matter where I turn. How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late to learn? You know the number one symptom of heart disease? The number one symptom of heart disease is sudden death. It's like time stands still forever till it starts shaking around on you. It'll start shaking around on you like some crazy old hooker on meth. And you know me, I can't take no preaching, not on Sunday and no other day. But I feel like I ought to be praying to something, and I have no idea what I'd say. I'd say some of this trouble just finds me. Most of this trouble I earn. How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late to learn? I've learned nothing out here on this highway, but I've been passed by, and I have passed by more than my share of cars. And I do remember back in my younger days when I was so certain that driving even faster was what was gonna get me far. So ain't nothing left for me to learn here. There's just this half full or half empty cup, less than an ounce of possession shit. I could do that kind of time standing up. Most of this trouble just finds me, you know. It doesn't matter where I turn. How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late to learn? Thank you for coming down to see me again. It's good to be back here. Seems like the last couple times I was in town, it was some weird place. Or not too weird, but outside. Well, we played under a bridge, I think, and next to a statue or some shit. But I appreciate you coming down and giving me a chance to sing for you again. You've never heard me play before. I feel like maybe some of you have, but if you drag a friend out, my name's Todd Snider. I've been driving around this fine country of ours for more than 15 years. I make this shit up. I sing it for anybody that will listen to it. Some of the songs are sad. Some of the songs are funny. Some of them are short. Some will seem like they go on forever, and sometimes I may ramble on for as many as 18 minutes in between a particular song, unless, of course, it's alpha male night and then maybe it'll just turn into me plowing through this shit while like 2 or 3 of you try to start conversations with me in between the song. And that's fine too. I enjoy every way this could possibly go. I know I will enjoy. My great hope is that you will. I would like to also warn you, my friends tell me to warn you that I may share some of my opinions with you over the course of the show. You may have heard me say this before, I say this all the time because I mean this all the time. I may share some of my opinions with you, but it's not going to be because I think that they are smart or because I think you need to know them. I'm going to share them with you because they rhyme. I didn't come down here to change anybody's mind about anything. I come down here to ease my own mind about everything. And with that, I always like to say thank you for giving me a chance to do this because it works forever. And if we're going to be real honest with each other, the best we can hope for if everything goes well is a 90-minute distraction from our impending doom. And if you're particularly nice to me tonight, maybe later I'll tell you about the time that Tony Bennett stole $65 from me. They named that goddamn kiss-ass Handelman vice president of human resources or something. He stood up and made a speech about how we would all have to work even harder now. I thought harder now. Harder at what? I'd give anything to get up and walk out of here, but I'm stuck on the corner of sanity and madness, looking them over, can't see a difference. Making money out of paper, paper out of trees. We're making so much money we can hardly breathe. You ought to hear the shit that I get from my daughter. She says that she can't stay on the side of a car I bought her. It's gonna ruin her life forever. She don't ride a rag top. Her and her mother spend my money pretty much non-stop. They're trying to break me for the sake of this neighborhood. They want everybody up and down the street to think we're doing good. We're stuck on the corner. Sanity and madness, looking them over, can't see a difference. We're making money out of paper, paper out of trees. We're making so much money we can hardly breathe. I didn't even want to study economics. My parents made me because they said it would be practical. I can't make my kid do a goddamn thing I tell him to. That kid's an unrepentant radical. He is as unimpressed by all these plaques in my cubicle as I'm secretly impressed with his ability to look at everything so completely irresponsibly. I'm stuck on the corner. Sanity and madness, looking him over. Can't see a difference. Making money out of paper, paper out of trees. We're making so much money we can hardly breathe. Call that little pecker Mr. Handelman. I drove home from work as mad as I had ever been, and then I nearly jerked a kid out of a drive-through window. He said, will that be everything? I said, what would you know? You're looking at a man about to buy his kid a rag top. Don't drive any bicycle, you little punk. I'm stuck on the corner. Sanity and madness, looking him over. Can't see a difference. wasn't even jumping out of the plane. It was spending the night watching police lights shine down through the pouring rain. They had a manhunt that next morning like nothing I'd ever seen. I was only 8 years old at the time. I was watching on TV screen. They were saying he was never gonna make it now. Not the daylight had set in. But later that night, they were shining those lights back down on that mountain again. Not far away from the city of roses, they all saw that light up through the rain. Looking for D.B. Cooper. Cops blocked off all the exit roads. Yeah, they turned loose all of their hounds. They even dragged the river up a couple of times to see if he had drowned. With all those men working overtime, they swore they were gonna bring him down. But a parachute and a few $100 is all that they've ever found. Not far away from the city of roses, they all watched those lights through the rain. Some people say that he died up there, somewhere in the rain and the wind. Other people say that he got away, but then his girlfriend did him in. The lawmen say if he is out there, someday they're gonna bring him in. As for me, I hope they never see old D.B. Cooper again. Not far away from the city of roses, they all watch those lights up through the rain. It was D.B. Cooper, maybe drinking champagne. Oh, oh, drinking champagne. You having a good time so far? I woke up, I had a few songs on my chest. I wanted to play them. There's only a handful of them. And then, I was going to play them unless you'd attack me for it. And then, if you start throwing things, I'll divert. I'll go a different direction. But until then, I have a few songs I was hoping I would play, get them on my chest, and then I'll do whatever you guys want to do. I got all night to do it. Helicopters over my house again. We got projects, they're 2 or 3 blocks from here. They pull these kids over for driving wild African, and the ones that got a warrant, they run off in fear. I sit here waiting for the coast to clear, wishing once again I had a gun around here. Turn on the news, and what do I hear? They say some kid shot the bank up on Gallatin Road. He ran away from the cops while he was trying to reload. He beat them up to Eastland Street on feet. Now he's probably reloaded and running down my street. I better turn my alarm on and lock myself in. We got the helicopters over my house again sometime. You rise above it. Sometimes you got to sneak below. between believing in heaven and facing the devil you know. This poor kid probably never had a chance to give a fuck. He wouldn't know good luck from a debutante. He gotta find a way to be Steve McNair, a young bucker. He is tough luck, looking for a prison to haunt. And you can forget getting any job you want, unless you really wanna work in a fast food restaurant. And who wants to do that? You wanna do that? I wouldn't trade that for my crooked hat, or my gang, or my gun, or my waist full of pages for a job deep frying shit for richer teenagers. If that's where it's at and no one's gonna help, how are you gonna blame a kid from helping himself? There is a war going on, the war can't win. Helicopters over the house again sometime. You got to rise above it, but sometimes you gotta sneak below. In between believing in heaven and facing the devil you know. We got black and white cops shining lights in our bushes. I can't see how this kid is gonna get very far unless he finds a way to make it back over to Berry Street, and he can't do that unless he steals a car. The way things are, they don't seem right. It's always white people talking about hope and light. There ain't no hope in Sam Levy. There's just guns and drugs. We ain't building bridges, we just train in thugs. And then I hear this terrifying kick at my back door. In walks this kid. I say, hey, I've seen this kid before. See him all the time at that bar on Woodland Street. And now he's bleeding in my kitchen, tracking blood off his feet. And he's looking at me like I'll either help him or die, until he sees in my eyes that I'm on his side. I hand him my keys. I say, you better move fast. There was a J in my ashtray and plenty of gas. Throws me the cash. He says, I'll be back for this. I say, yeah, well, don't be surprised if there's a lip of it missing. It's gold teeth blizzard with a big old grin. I said, we'll talk about that when I see you again. Shook my hand, shook his back. Felt like I was about to have a heart attack, until it finally drove away. I thought, God damn, helicopters over my house again sometime. You gotta sneak below, somewhere in between believing in heaven and feeling the devil you know. America's favorite pastime. It's for all of you that showed up unprepared. Well, Doc Ellis didn't think he was pitching that day back in 1970, when he and his wife took a trip to the ballpark a little bit differently. So by the time that he hit the bullpen, half the world had melted away. That's about the time Coach Murtaugh came and said, Doc, you're pitching today. They're taking the mound, the ground turned into the icing on birthday cake. That leadoff man came up and turned into a dancing rattlesnake. That crowd tracked back and forth in waves of color underneath the sun. That ball turned into a silver bullet, his arm into a gun. I took a look all around the world one time, finally discovered you can't judge a book. 3 up, 3 down for 3 straight innings in a 0-0 tie. as all them batters' names come ringing from a voice out of the sky, hallucinating how the wind sings each new swing of the bat. His sinker looked like it was falling off a table, but nobody was hallucinating that. I took a look all around the world one time, finally I discovered you can't judge a book by the top of the seventh. He was up 1-0 and giving them Padres fits. And by the bottom of the eighth, he was up 2-0 and still hadn't got any yet. With 1 out left to go in the game, batter looked like a baby child. That birthday cake was shaking them, waves of color was going wild. Piggy boy. By the time that he mowed the last man down, he was high as he had ever been. He was laughing to the sound of the world going round, completely unaware of the wind. And while the papers would say he was scattered that day, he was pretty as a pitcher could be. The day Doc Ellis of the Pittsburgh Pirates threw a no-hitter on LSD. I took a look all around the world one time. I finally discovered you can't judge a book there. An empty house is hard to bear, lonesome falling everywhere. Without you there's no light coming in. That lucky dog jumping fence, ain't seen him round here since. I don't guess I ever will again. It didn't bother me any. I was good to that dog. Just like you, I'm going to have to learn to let him go. Oh, leaving me was one thing, Carla. Why'd you have to leave so slow? Slow and shifty backing out. You were trying to fill my head with doubt. You nearly had me walking out on you. About the oldest trick to be playing on someone as old as me. That cannot be the best that you could do. It didn't bother me any when he come around. I just wish I hadn't had to be the last guy in town to know. Oh, 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 I didn't mind you walking away. What hurt was how you walked so slow. You know, you go like, was so underhanded, grabbing him just as you landed after holding me the whole time you fell. You tell me it'll be good to you, who wouldn't be what else is new. Now all that I can do is wish you well. It wouldn't have bothered me any if you'd have left me when you wanted to, but you just had to wait till you had someplace better to go. Oh, 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 leaving me was one thing, Carla. Why'd you have to leave so slow? See, I didn't mind you walking away. What hurt was how you walked so slow. Tell, but this is fun. Like sometimes you use a pick, sometimes you play with your fingers. I I've been doing that for a while. I've been kind of in the mood for that. I'll do this song for you. It's an older song, but I made this up. I come from Portland, Oregon. I probably told you that before, unless this is your first one. And this is a song, a vacation song I came up with one year when I went out to see my mom in a town called Port Orford, Oregon, which you have to go through Tillamook County, Oregon to get to. And on one of the days of our vacation, I had a lot of time to think. I made up this. Sitting here waiting in Tillamook County jail, hoping that she's not so mad now that she doesn't even pay my bail. If I was her, I'm not so sure I wouldn't keep on moving down the trail, sitting here waiting in the Tillamook County jail. I got a lump on my head and a boot print on my chest from what these guys in here call the Tillamook County lie detector test. Well, I did my best, but as you might have guessed, it's a tough test, not to fail. Sitting there waiting in the Tillamook County jail. I get one phone call, too tired now for cold gray walls closing in. If I ever do get out on that highway again, I ain't ever going back to Tillamook County. Ain't ever going back to Tillamook County. It all started when I had a little trouble with this guy on a highway crew. And that lying son of a gun, he told him I done some things I did not do. I'm telling you I didn't do. They come running for me down 101, lights flashing down my tail. Oh, I'm sitting here waiting in Tillamook County jail. I get one phone call, too tired and off, full cold gray walls closing in. If I ever do get out on that highway again, I ain't ever going back to Tillamook County. I ain't ever going back to Tillamook County. No, no. She's not so mad now that she doesn't even pay my bail. We came down here on vacation, gonna leave on probation and send all my money through the mail. Gonna send all my money to the Tillamook County jail. I'm sending all my money to the Tillamook County jail. Still sending portions of tonight's money out to Tillamook County. Every time I've been to jail, it's been a misunderstanding or some shit. Always rhymes, though. That last one's a true story. It's been a long time ago. Been not that long ago, less than about 5 or 6 years ago. I went down there. And I went trying to see my mom, got in trouble. At the time, it took me a couple of years to realize I was wrong, but I did eventually understand what I did wrong. It was very argumentative for the first 2 years, I guess. And then they gave me 30 hours of community service, which is an odd thing to describe, like an odd thing to call it. I thought, what does that even mean? But then they explained what that meant, and so I did that. And then I fucked that up. So then it was 60 hours I had to do. Community service. Well, they told me they wanted me to, they said, we want you to teach kids about drugs. Oh, fuck. It's a miscommunication. I was showing them how to make a bong out of an apple. There's a story song you can whistle to if you like. Standing out on the edge of a building, watching traffic below. Just drinking a beer, I was thinking about jumping, not far from ready to go. Below me a crowd slowly gathered around. There was cop cars and news cameras too. I can't get out of this pain that I'm in. I don't know what else to do. Sometimes I feel like I'm so uninvited, like someone so out of touch. They tell me depression runs in our family. That doesn't help me much. This crowd's yelling jump over a cop on a bullhorn. It's making him kind of hard to hear. He's yelling something about having so much to live for. I'm almost through with this beer. Squinting my eyes to see through the sunlight. This crowd's even bigger now. There's no point in wondering what afterlife's like. It don't matter anyhow. We're already in hell, as far as I can tell. Just listen to these people scream. This feels like a rally in a high school field house. I feel like the captain of some team. Well, here goes the captain of some team. We got uniforms, we could go on the road. Follow the light to the Garden of Eden, that stand at the pearly gates. St. Peter comes over, puts his hand on my shoulder. He's telling me that I gotta wait. He says, you can't kill yourself and still expect to come in here, kid. But you look like a victim of circumstance. So I'm just gonna break every bone in your body and give you another chance. Slowly looking around me, it's this lonely recovery room. Closing my eyes, I can't see this new sunrise over acres of flowers in bloom. I don't know where it's gonna be, but the next time you see me, I'll be tapping to a whole new beat, walking souls into the holes of my shoes down the sunny side of some street. Sunshine. We probably have to practice a little. But we get real good, I bet. That was what I was trying to do. Thank you for being so patient with me and I will all the song. Anybody have something they were hoping they heard if they drove? Oh, well, there, shit. I know all that shit. All you need is a 10 and a 5 car key and a sober driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. A couple of frat guys from Abilene drove out all night to see Robert Earl Keen at the K-Big Swine and Swore Dance. They wore baseball caps and khaki pants. They wanted cigs. So to save some money, they got one off these hippies who smelled kind of funny. Next thing they knew, they were both really hungry and pretty thirsty too. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. All you need is a 10 and a 5, car key and a sober driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. Got a store with the signs that the beer was coldest. They sent him Brad because he looked the oldest. He got a case of beer and a candy bar. He walked over to where all them registers are, laid his fake ID on the countertop. Clerk looked, he turned, he looked back up, he stopped. He said, "Kid, I'm not going to call the cops, but I'm going to have to keep this car." The guys both took it pretty hard. They took it hard. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. All you need is a 10 and a 5, car key and a sober driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. Named Sleepy John. He said he was the guy from the Robert Earl song, so they gave him their cash, bought him some brews. It's a beautiful day out in Santa Cruz. They were feeling so good. It should have been a crime. The crowd was cool and the band was prime. Made it back up front to their seats just in time to sing with all their. Hear that? Hear that? Oh, that's the psychedelic part. And if you ain't into that, just groove out on the light show. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. All you need is a 10 and 5, car key and sober driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. He tried to look like he had a little bit of money. He grifter with a southern drawl. Well, I could tell right away by the way he was running that that boy was just begging to crawl. At least a junkie knows what he needs. You give a man all strung out on greed, he'll give up everything he's got for just one shot at having it all. Down a local track. He had a tip from a friend, put it all down and went on a horse named Heart Attack. Ain't no fool, boys, he didn't bet it all. So everything was cool when that horse took it not too soft, but not too tough. Well, she figured by the money he'd been throwing around that he's damn sure good looking enough. So she worked her way over, she shot him a wink, he took his last $5. He bought her a drink. By the time they hit a Motel 6, they figured they was in love, but they didn't know that easy money. It's sad but it's true. Everybody wants the most they can possibly get. For the least they can possibly do, they want that easy money. But Lord, I don't understand. Hey, people scheming, they plan, but they can't get their hand on that easy money. Must have been about 2 weeks later, they get a call from one of his business friends. Found a surefire steal, this big investment deal. Dumpling, would you believe this? He gonna let both of us in. So they took all the savings out of the bank, and on the way home they stopped to get super tank. She stepped in for some cigs. Help me say, never saw that fucker again. Oh, it won't easy money. Sad but it's true. Everybody wants the most they can possibly get. For the least they can possibly do, they want that easy money. Mama say, they people scheming, they plan, but they can't get their hand on that easy money. They people scheming, they plan, but they can't get their hand on that easy money. I said, I know it's only rock and roll, but I like it, yes I do. The other morning I was hanging around in my house. I had that new book with my tour manager Elvis naked, and I was checking it out. Just then a friend of mine came through the door. Said she never pegged me for an Elvis fan before. Said she didn't never want to see me anymore, and I still don't know why. Just won't live till I gotta die. I know I ain't perfect, but God knows I try. I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm alright. I know I'm dirty, and I know I smoke too much dope in my time. Man, it ain't like I went on TV and tore up a picture of the Pope like Snider come and did that time. I know I get wild, I know I get drunk. Ain't like I've got a bunch of bodies in my trunk. Old man used to call me a no good punk, and I still don't know why. I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm an alright guy. Just won't live till I gotta die. I know I ain't perfect, but God knows I try. I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm alright, alright. You know, just the other night these cops pulled me over outside of a bar. They turned on their lights and they said, hey kid, we're gonna have to ask you to step out of the car. I was only kidding when I called him a couple of dicks. Still they made me do the stupid human tricks. Now I'm stuck in this jail with a bunch of dumb hicks, and I still don't know why. I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm an alright guy. I just wanna live till I gotta die. I know I ain't perfect, but God knows I try. I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm alright. Alright. Yeah, I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm alright. Alright. Yeah, I think I'm alright. Hey, I'm alright. Hey, I'm alright. Hey, I'm alright. I said I think I'm alright. God, oh God Almighty knows that I think I'm deep down in my heart I'm alright. Smoking long black Cadillac with jam wine and out. Park it up on the sidewalk like he owned the whole dang town. I hear him talking to some chick through the thick ghost of smoke, through the thicker haze of southern comfort and cold. Say, girl, you're hotter than the hinges hanging off the gates of hell. Don't be afraid to turn to me, baby, if he don't treat you well. And by he meant me. So I laughed and I shook his head. He laughed a little bit louder as he would yell up at the band and play train song. Pour me one more round, make him leave my boots on the day to lay me down. I may run away, locomotive out of my one-track mind. I'm looking for any kind of trouble I can find. I've got this old black leather jacket, got this pack of Marlboro Reds, got this stash here in my pocket, with these thoughts in my own head, the right to run until I've got to walk, until I've got to crawl. I've got this moment that I'm in right now, and nothing else at all. I'm playing train song, and pour me one more round, make 'em leave my boots on the day to lay me down. I may run away, locomotive out of my one-track mind. In the television blizzard lights, we looked around his place, found him cold there on the sofa, a little smile across his face. And though I tried with all of my sadness, I could never leave. For a man who looked to me like he died, laughing in his sleep, singing a train song, drinking one last round, make him leave his boots on the day laid him down. He was a runaway locomotive. Now I was one track mind. Yellow rose, wake old moon. If you quit too late, boy, you'll die too soon. A woman with a needle and a silver spoon has got you holed up singing that devil's tune. You're playing the blues, you're paying your due, and you're speeding your young life away. I never will get over what I heard about you the first thing New Year's Day. I can't say that I felt so sad. The truth is, I'm still mad at the selfish way that you just left your dad, when you know what a hard luck time he's had, sleeping through our dream come true. You just threw all that talent away. I know we'll get over what I heard about you first thing New Year's Day. Slipping away. New Year's Day. I threw my phone up against the wall. I went out walking when I got the call. I went out walking with the weight of it all. That's when it hit me like a waterfall. I'm paying my dues, I am playing the blues. I'm speeding my young life away. I never will get over what I heard about you first thing New Year's Day. Slipping away. New Year's Day. Yellow rose, wake old moon. If you quit too late, you'll die too soon. To the bitter end, so tried and true. Goodbye, old friend, we'll be missing you. Goodbye, my old friend, we're gonna miss you. I'm just an old chunk of coal, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday. Yes, I'm gonna grow and glow till I'm so blue, pure perfect. I'm gonna put a smile on every goddamn one of his face. Yeah, I'm gonna be the world's best friend. Oh, I'm gonna go around shaking everybody's hand. Yes, I am, Lord knows that I'm just an old chunk of coal now, Lord. But I'm gonna be a diamond someday. new song, you guys? I made this song up, it's been a while, I guess, but not too long. As I was sitting around in my house, I guess it's been about a year ago or two, and I realized that I had made up 9 songs. And any of you that ever bought an album off of anybody might know that you need 10 songs to make an album. And so I woke up and I thought, shit, man, I got 9 songs. If I had one more song, I can make an album. So I sat down at the piano and I was like, I hit a chord. And I was like, okay, say some shit, man. And it occurred to me that that was the first time in my life, I think, that I'd ever sat down at anything, any instrument, to make up a song, not because I had something I wanted to tell somebody, or because I had some story I wanted to say, or because I had some opinion I was trying to sneak over on somebody, but more because I just needed another song so I could make an album and go on tour. And I thought, shit, this is how they do country music, man. And I don't want to do that. And I felt relatively convicted. I was reminded of a quote that I had read one time in my life by a famous pilot from World War I. And I made up this song. It starts like this. This is the beginning. Ready? Yeah. A man once said that the pinnacle of success was when you finally lost interest in money, compliments, and publicity. A noble enough idea, I suppose. How on earth he does this, heaven only knows. I know I need a lot more of all 3 of those before I ever had the nerve to turn up my nose at any money or a compliment, shit, some publicity. I'm broke as the 10 Commandments. Sometimes I'm harder to follow. I don't know whether to walk to school or take my lunch. Shit, or wind my watch, it's true. You may think you see a man up here looking for your attention, but you're looking at a man who's lived through a little bit of poverty, some anxiety, some scrutiny. I'll tell you what, if I ever do get my money together, I'm gonna take care of all my friends. I'll buy an island, run a phone line, call and tell them all to get fucked. Oh, that ought to take care of them. Just be me and my money and my compliments and my publicity to sing it with the money. Compliments and publicity is kind of an issue for me. You know, I went to see this therapist one time. She said, just do the best you can do. The best you can do. She said, do the best you can do. I was hoping for something more specific. Said that the pinnacle of success was when you finally lost interest in money, compliments, and publicity. Many years later, another man will say all that again, but not for the sake of inspiring men, but rather because he got 9 songs and knows he needs at least 10. So he can go back to town and turn them on, and to get the money, you got to compliment. The publicity, Lord, I wanna take it to bank and save money. I love the compliments and the publicity. I got so many people I'd like to thank. I'd like to thank Clive Davis for a fucking change. And all my friends and my fans and the Lord up in heaven above for my money and my compliments and my publicity. Lord, I wanna be the next. Conservative Christian right-wing Republican, straight white American man. Soul-saving, flag-waving, rush-loving, lamb-paving, personal friends of the quail. Shirt-tucking, frat-housing, kick-tapping, back-slapping, hater of hippies like me. Tree-hugging, peace-loving, pot-smoking, porn-watching, lazy-ass hippies like me. Tree-hugging, peace-loving, pro-choice and gay wedding, widespread panic-digging hippies like me. Skin color blinded, conspiracy-minded, protesters of corporate greed. We who have nothing, and most likely will till we all end up locked up in jail. By conservative Christian, right-wing Republican, straight white American male. Diamonds and all, boys and girls, living together in two separate worlds, following leaders up mountains of shame, looking for someone to blame. I know who I like to blame. Conservative Christian, right-wing Republican, straight white American male. Soul-saving, flag-waving, rush-loving, lamb-paving, personal friends to the quail. Quite diligently working so hard to keep the free reins of this democracy. From tree-hugging, peace-loving, pot-smoking, porn-watching, lazy-ass hippies like me. Tree-hugging, peace-loving, pot-smoking, porn-watching, lazy-ass hippies like me. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for being so nice to me. It's always a good time to come to town. Hope you had a good time. Hope you heard the song you wanted to hear. I was going to tell you a quick story before I left. It's kind of about this old car that I got. 1964 Rocket 88. Used to be a convertible. Can't get the top up no more. Not sure what you call that. Nevertheless, when I come home off the road, I like to take my old convertible down to the car wash. I don't need to get the top up. I've had a lot of practice. I can wash it just fine with the top down. I'm standing over there at the East Nashville car wash, having a good time, washing my car, as I find that it relaxes me. As I'm doing it, I see him coming across the parking lot, walking right at me as fast as he can. And I can see that he's sweating through his clothes, sweating through his hair, sweating through his face, sweating like he'd been up all night smoking that crack cocaine. I didn't want to talk to him, but he wanted to talk to me. He came over, he said, "How about you give me a few bucks?" and I help you wash your car. I said, listen, man, the most enjoyable part of it for me is actually washing the car. How about I give you a few bucks and you let me wash my car myself? And he thought about that for a second. He said, no, I'm gonna help you wash your car. I started looking around the parking lot. Wasn't nobody there but him and me. And he was a lot bigger than me. And he was higher than me. I thought it's safest to let him help me wash my car. And so I did. A few minutes later, we got to talking about the different things we'd done in our life, different places we'd lived, different pieces of trouble we got into, different hunks of work we did, girls we knew. We start getting that car cleaner, cleaner and cleaner, getting to know each other better and better. I'll tell you something, brothers and sisters, by the time we got finished washing that car, it was better for having been washed by two guys than one. So I said to him, man, I said, hey, thank you. I enjoyed myself. He said, I enjoyed myself too. I said, can I ask you an honest question though? He said, sure. I said, when you first came over here, were you thinking about robbing me? He said, yeah. I thought that was awkward for a conversation. So I said to him, in this sort of fight or flight response, I said, what's your name? He said, I'm Tony Bennett. What's your name? I said, oh, I'm Bing Crosby then. He said, you fucking with me, man? I said, what? He said, you fucking with me? I said, you started this? He said, what do you mean I started this? I said, you said you were Tony Bennett. He pulled a card out of his pocket. Turned out to be a driver's license. And as God is my witness, brothers and sisters, that man's name was Tony Bennett. I was left with no choice but to apologize, for I had indeed been fucking with him. And my name is not Bing Crosby. I said, man, I'm sorry. He said, it's no big deal. Let's do this again sometime. We hugged each other, and it was when we hugged each other that I'm pretty sure Tony Bennett got those $65 from me. I can't prove it, but I know it, and I'm pretty sure he knows it. And we will have that to discuss next time we see each other. Now, I'd like to say before I close out this story that oftentimes when I tell it, my friends will say to me, you know, Todd, I thought you were talking about the Tony Bennett that left his heart in San Francisco. And it's not who I was talking about. I was talking about the Tony Bennett that hangs around the East Nashville car walk. I'm sorry if there was any confusion. Life's too short to work, it's too long to wait, it's too short not to love everybody, life's too long to hate. I mean, I've been having for night all the time, trying to save a million now. closing. She poured me up a beer. She said, come over here and sit down, you little shit. I got something that you need to hear. Life ain't easy getting through. Everybody gonna make a thing tough on you. I tell you right now, if you dig what you do, never get you down low. Said life's too short to wait. Life's too long to wait. It's too short not to love everybody. Life's too long to wait. I've been haggling for a long time. Trying to settle this man down. I need more groceries. Say I ain't got the time to pick more. Seen old virgin, I guess it's probably been 20 odd years. I've been rolling around this country. I sing my songs for tips and beers, mostly beers. Now nights alone, driving's tough, hotels where the pay's tough. I can't think what I do no morning. Love gets me down. I say life's too short to wait, life's too long to wait, too short not to love it. Life's too long to wait. I've been haggling for a long time, trying to set this man down. I made more groceries. I ain't got the time to go back. Thank you so much. I want to thank my brother, Bobby Bear Jr. Thank all y'all for being so nice to me. I send this out to the people who are driving home. Remember, if you're the one that there's a tip for you. When you're driving your automobile, keep your hands up on the wheel. And sometimes you got to relax your mind. Relax your mind. Relax your mind. It makes you feel so good sometimes. Relax your mind. Sometimes. And if the light turn green, put your foot on that gasoline. Sometimes you got to relax your mind. Relax your mind, relax your mind. It make you feel so good sometimes. Sometimes you've got to relax your mind. And if the light turn red, well, put your foot on that brake instead. Sometimes you got to relax your mind. Help me sing if you know by now. It feels good to say. Relax your mind. Relax your mind. It make you feel so good sometimes. Sometimes you got to relax your mind. And if the light turn blue, I don't know what to tell you to do. Sometimes you got to relax. Y'all sing to me for a while. I've been singing the whole time. Relax your mind. Relax your mind. It feels so good sometimes. Sometimes you got to relax your mind. your mind, relax your mind. It make you feel so good sometimes. Sometimes you forgot to relax your mind. Thank you, Birmingham. Always so good to see you.
You know I can't be found, so home all alone. And you can't come around, at least please telephone. Don't be rude, I do a heart that's true. All right, here we go. I don't want no other love, oh it's just you.
Have someone to hold on to. You're going to have to learn to let go. You've got to sing like you don't need no money. You gotta love like you never get hurt. You got to dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. It's gotta come from your heart. If you want it to work, you got to sing like you don't need no money. You gotta love like you'll never get hurt. You gotta dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. It's gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. Here is this one thing that I keep forgetting. When everything is falling apart, as life as in love, I need to remember there's such a thing as trying too hard. You got to sing like you don't need the money. You gotta love like you never get hurt. You gotta dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. It's gotta come from your heart if you want it to work. You got to sing sometimes like you don't need the money. You gotta love sometimes, like you never get hurt. You gotta dance, 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 like nobody's watching. It's gotta come from your heart if you want it to work. Yeah, you gotta sing sometimes, like you don't need the money. You gotta love sometimes, like you'll never get hurt. You gotta dance, 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 like nobody's watching. It's gotta come from your heart if you want it to work. Yeah, you gotta sing sometime, like you don't need the money. You gotta love sometime, like you never get hurt. You gotta dance, 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 like nobody's watching.